Salam alaikum, shalom, grüß Gott, bonjour, privet, dobar dan, namaste, and welcome to this video. In this one, I will talk about my thoughts on these two amps. The Sonoro Maestro and the Marantz PM7000N. Now, I will keep the Marantz, and there is a reason for that. And that is, for one, the sound, for two, airplay, and for three, looks. Now, I like the look of the Marantz more, but that's just my taste. The same is true for the sound, but one exception. I guess nobody would want the tweeter to make noise in a passive system. That's usually something you get with active speakers, and that is something the Sonoro does. I don't know why. I tried a few things to make it disappear, but there is this sound coming from the tweeter, and it doesn't matter if I use the jet tweeter with the ELAC Vela or this silk dome tweeter within the concentric driver array of the ELAC Unify. Now, yeah, what can I do with that? I'm sorry. Now, what can I do if I don't want to get noise? I shielded all the inputs on the back of the Maestro, but it didn't work. So if you want the Sonoro Maestro, you should keep in mind that your tweeter could make a noise, or it's just noisy overall, even if there is nothing played. If you have quiet parts in a song, you will hear noise coming from the tweeter, and that is not the case with the Marantz. It is just quiet. I have to put my ear to the tweeter so I can hear that there is anything, and only then I can hear a slightly little tiny something of noise, but that's just something I would call nothing. I can hear nothing coming from the tweeter when my speakers are powered by the Marantz, and that's not the case with the Sonoro. Unfortunately, I have no idea. Maybe some of you guys or girls know what the reason could be. I don't know. I sold my Audiolab 6000A Play to keep the Sonoro, and that was obviously a mistake, because in my opinion the Audiolab 6000A Play sounds better than the Sonoro, and even better than the Marantz PM7000N. It has more treble information, and it is more focused. All the instruments, the singer and so on, are I could say the space between all the instruments and all the sound events on the soundstage, the space is darker, and I love the convenience of HEOS using the Marantz. The Sonoro app isn't as far by now. They don't have AirPlay yet. I guess they will release something in 2023, a new amp. As far as I know, it's just a rumor by now, but it's something I heard when I called the Sonoro service to ask how I could get rid of this noise. And yeah, I guess the new model will have HDMI and maybe AirPlay. I don't know what else, but I hope they will keep the CD function, because that was the reason I bought the Sonoro, and also the size. Because now this sideboard is a IKEA Besta sideboard, and this fits in, and I like that. But you know, the sound is more important than the size of an amplifier. And now the Sonoro has 170 watts, and the Marantz has 60 watts. Now, to be honest, please look it up. I don't know if it is into 4 or 8 ohms. Usually when they give you high numbers, it is into 4 ohms. So I guess the rating for the Sonoro is into 4 ohms, and the one for the Marantz is into 8 ohms, but I don't know if that's the case here. I'm just guessing. Now, does the Sonoro sound more powerful? Maybe a little bit, but you know, my problem is the Class AB design sounds a bit more, or the Marantz amplifier here sounds a bit more textured than the Sonoro. Maybe it has a little bit more bass power, but that's quantity. In this case, even I can hear it, but the quality of the bass notes is better with this one. Overall, also in the mid-range, the Marantz is a bit more holographic, a bit more 3D-ish. There's more texture, and the Sonoro, or most of the Class D amps I had so far, are a bit flatter. And if you want to have even more than Class A, this solid state approach, it is if you have tubes in the chain, it gets even more holographic with tubes. I have no idea why, but I heard it with the SV500 by Vincent that has tubes within the preamplifier section. Now, nevertheless, I liked the sound of the Sonoro because it has a colorful mid-range, I would call, with dense colors. So I like that, but it isn't as lively in the treble as the Marantz, and as I said, the 6000A play is even livelier. It is even snappier, even faster, better controlled, and so on. So if I had to rate from 1 to 3, I would say sound-wise, the number one for my taste, in my room, in my system, goes to the Audiolab 6000A play without any doubt. So it is just my opinion here. In my opinion, the 6000A play sounds so much better than the Sonoro. Really, it's just my opinion. There are things the Sonoro does good, but in my opinion, with my system in my room, the Audiolab 6000A play sounds just better than the Sonoro. and even better than the Marantz. So I would say gold goes to the Audiolab, silver to the Marantz, and bronze to the Sonoro. So now the mid-range. I like the tone of the Sonoro amp, but I like that of the Marantz and the Audiolab too. So that's nothing I would put this Sonoro over the other two. I just think it sounds quite full. It sounds very good for a Class D amplifier under 2000 euros. That's fine, but the Marantz and the one by Audiolab are even cheaper and sound better. And maybe all of this wouldn't bother me if there was no hiss, no noise coming from the tweeter. So that was my deal breaker. That's just my deal breaker. If I have a passive system, so an amp, speaker cables and passive speakers, there should be no noise coming from the tweeter. And that is, like I said, I know it's something you get with active speakers, with a lot of active speakers. Okay, that's it. Therefore, active speakers have other advantages. You get a very, very good sound for very cheap. So the amp is built into the speaker. But again, with a passive speaker, I don't want noise from the tweeter, and these both are not horns or something. It is. At first I thought maybe it's something with the AMT, with the Jet 5 tweeter, but it isn't. The Jet 5 tweeter of the ELAC Wähler is amazing in each and every regard, and there is no noise whatsoever when I power it with the Marantz PM7000N or the Audiolab 6000A Play. Nothing, just it is so close to zero noise that I just can hear it, like I said, when I touch the waveguide of the tweeter with my ear. I have to be that close. Now, the Sonoro is the only one of the three that has room correction, and it does a good job. It does a really good job. In my experience, room treatment is so much more important than room correction by software. So yes, it gets even better, but the biggest step you can go with room treatment, with real room treatment. And when it comes to treble, again, the first place goes to the Audiolab 6000A Play, the second one to the Marantz, and the third to the Sonoro. Now, when it comes to, how is it? Prat, pace, rhythm, and timing, I guess. Again, the ability of the Audiolab to play instruments, even if they are played in a very fast way, to really hear each and every note one after the other. And that doesn't appear with these two amps as much. Again, there one goes to the Audiolab, second place for the Marantz, and the third place for the Sonoro. The soundstage imaging is the best with the Audiolab, second place Marantz, and third place Sonoro. But I want to emphasize one thing. In my opinion, the Marantz is sometimes closer to the Sonoro and sometimes closer to the Audiolab. For example, treble extension or treble bliss. So this amazing treble reproduction. In that regard, it is closer to the Sonoro, and with the Audiolab, I got even though it is not a bright amp, it gives so much more treble air. It is really amazing. And when it comes to overall liveliness, overall that the ease of powering the speaker, I would give the Marantz the edge over the Audiolab. It's like, yeah, even at, no, please keep in mind, when I talk about these speakers and my experiences, I always talk about the sound at low to mid volumes. I can't tell you which amp is better at high volumes. I just don't do that. I don't listen loud. Sometimes it is quite loud, but I know a lot of people listen way louder than I do. And yeah. So, soundstage, in my experience, the Audiolab has the widest soundstage and the deepest, then the Marantz and then the Sonoro. What is important to me is the holographicness, this imaging. And imaging, now I can give you a sneak peek from one of my next videos. Imaging is better with the Unifier than with the ELAC Vela, but the ELAC Vela has some things that the Unifier can't do. Now, imaging was the best with the Audiolab, second place with the Marantz, last is the Sonoro. Now, if I would only hear the Sonoro, I guess I would be fine, I would be happy, and I would say, now this sounds really, really good. But in my opinion, this is not high fidelity. The Sonoro is just a really good amplifier, but not in the amazing territory. And in my opinion, the Audiolab 6000A Play and the Marantz PM7000N, they give you this entry into this amazing high-end territory. And I wouldn't call the sound that you get with the Sonoro in my system, in my room, and to my taste, high-end. Maybe it is a high-end sound when I listen to it with the Sonoro speakers. Maybe I heard from the same guy at the service that the crossovers in the speakers are tuned, or this amp is tuned according to the crossovers in their speakers. Yeah, might be. That might be the case, or is the case, but you know, I have two really different, really different sounding speakers here, and I tested both speakers with these amps, and the Marantz is the one I'm keeping. That's it. That's the one I'm keeping, and I have no regret that I sold the Sonoro, even though it has one thing I really like about it, and that's the CD function. It's the CD player that is built in, that works flawlessly. It sounds amazing. It sounds better than streaming. I would love to have an amplifier, and I'm looking at the Audiolab Omnia. That one is on my list. Is maybe the first on my list, and I'm also looking for a Rega LXR or the Illicit Mark V. That time will show. I will see it if I can get a bargain on that. But for now, I am keeping the Marantz. It works so fine. Now, HEOS is not as good as Blue Sound. In my opinion, it's not even close. But it is still much better than, how is it called from Audiolab? Play-Fi. HEOS is, in my case, much better than Play-Fi for now. And now we have the end of 2022. And I'm really curious what Sonoro will bring in the future, and I hope I can test it then. But for now, I should have kept the audio lab. I I will try to get it again, maybe in silver then, and replace even the Marantz. So this was a bit of a depressed video. You can hear that I would rather have the 6000A play or the 6000A if both sound the same, or even rather have the Audiolab Omnia. And that's it. Now, one other thing I want to mention, both of these two are not a real preamplifier replacement, and that is something the Audiolab guys do offer. You can really use it as a preamplifier for active speakers. With this one, there is something like a line out preamplifier section, but it doesn't give you a real amplifier. It's a real preamplifier. It's just for a subwoofer. So I would love to have a CD player replacement, which I can also use and control the volume with active speakers. But that is not the case. So in one of my next videos, I will compare the ELAC Vela and the Unify. Some of you guys asked for that. Thank you very much. I really appreciate your interest in my videos, and this is my journey. I'm not a reviewer. I just test a lot of gear, and there are some regrets. Maybe I know I will make a video on my regrets on my journey, because sometimes I sold gear I shouldn't have sold, like the Arkham Solo Music Mark II. I should have kept that, or just change the Focal Aria 906 to the 926 and not sell everything. Yeah, sometimes I get really close to my final setup, and then I sell in the wrong order and try new speakers, which then, yeah, buying them just to test them. And sometimes, I should have kept a lot of things, but I can't. For once, I'm not rich to keep everything. I don't have the space. No, maybe now I have the space, but I don't want to waste all the space we have now to keep gear I don't listen to. So thank you very much. I will see you, or you will hear me in my next video. I wish you a good day or night whenever you watch this, and if you have the chance, listen for yourself. And that is what I will do for a lot of weeks now with these two. Sometimes I don't even listen to music. I listen to prayers, to learn prayers by heart, and it's all the time it's male voices, and therefore I can really hear how male voices sound with either of these, with one of these, or with these. Now, so see you in the next one. Bye bye.